Good morning, and welcome to Winnipeg, White Winnipeg. Yep, we didn't lose too much snow yesterday. I imagine a little bit evaporated, but not that's really noticeable. Now, we don't have a rollback, but we sort of do. I didn't come back to the model table, but I want to show you what I did do yesterday. I did go outside. I did get the snowblower going. And it went pretty good. I'm going to have to go back out again this afternoon and do a little bit more. But yeah, it went not too bad. Anyway, don't know what we're going to get done here today. We're getting a late start. One of my other neighbors stopped by the house to make sure I was okay. That's nice, you know. And he was in for a while, and I showed him the surveillance system that I'd set up in my neighbor's house. He's my neighbor that went to Mexico. I got cameras set up over there, and they broadcast to over here. And I've got a monitor going, and I'll show it to you. And that way, and the main reason is I want to keep track of the temperature in this house, so that if if his furnace goes out, his plumbing won't freeze. And that's a real serious problem here in Winnipeg. People leave and go on holidays, and they come home and they find out that their furnace went out and their plumbing froze and the pipes burst. Ooh, it don't get much worse than that. Anyway, well, I guess the house could burn down. That'd be worse, wouldn't it? Anyway, let's just sort of, you might say, roll back, I guess, and see what I did yesterday outside. It only lasts about a minute, and then we'll carry on here. Now, I think I mentioned this last year already, but that machine is sort of like a powered walker. Yeah, I hang on to the the handlebars, you might say, and I'm finding that I have less chance of twisting my knee if I'm holding on to that. If I feel myself, having to twist one way or the other, I just sort of well, it's like holding on to a walker. Now, I know it is sort of lurching back and forth a little bit, but for some reason, and I don't know why it is, I can actually walk quite well behind that machine. Yeah, it's really strange. I mean, people think you have a hard time walking, but you're using a snowblower. Well, I just can't explain it. It's actually easier to walk behind it than not. Okay, this is the paint and marking guide that came with our Iowa. And one of the viewers had commented and was wondering, what is this all about? What's this A11 going on here? And I've been trying to figure it out too. I'm going to move in a little closer, and we'll look at it and see if we can figure out what is it that we are supposed to paint A11, or what is this A11 all about? I'm just going to move in a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to use something that's a little bit more pointy, because I can, come right up here and I can just stop right here. Now you can see that the line comes up, and it actually is trying to show us something that is just above the boot line here. And I think is it supposed to be trying to tell us that it wants us to paint this area A11. But what is A11? Does anybody know what A11 is? I can't figure it out either, because the further on we find that we're supposed to be painting the hull or the side of the hull, the Tamiya XF19. Which I've actually got. So it doesn't have anything to do with the, I don't know. Anybody know? In the comments, please. let's help our friend out here, and also me. I'm curious now too. Okay, now in yesterday's episode, I was mentioning how I had when I was gluing this part up here, I got it too close together here, and it won't fit in the slot. It's about a millimeter, maybe not quite, too narrow to fit into those slots. And I was thinking it maybe re-softening everything with the extra thin here, but there's quite a bit that's going to have to be re-softened, and I don't know if that's the way to go. I'm thinking that maybe what I should do is take my hobby knife here. Where is it? And just very carefully, I'll probably have, well, maybe I can do it on camera if I'm careful. Just take about a quarter of a millimeter off each one of these. Now I know that then that's going to make the slot larger than it's supposed to be, but I think once everything's all painted and everything, it won't make any difference. It'll probably look like maybe it was supposed to be that way. Yeah, after all, the idea was that they were supposed to be able to get in here to be able to get to the grease fittings. Well, it makes sense to me anyway. Okay, I think that's the way I'm going to go here. I'm just going to try and take just a little bit out, and I'll put the macro lens on and we'll look at it from overhead. And I've got to try and oops, it's stuck on there. I've got to try and fasten this down so that when I'm working on it, I wonder if maybe I could put that square base in my vise. That might be a little better than, like this. I have to be careful not to break it off. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in my vise, very, very carefully. Okay, now I will recompose here in a moment, but this is actually the first time I'm trying this. It's kind of good because I can rest my hand on the top of the jaws of the vise and just sort of get it right exactly. Let me zoom in just a little bit here. Okay, yeah, this should work. I'm going to put the macro lens on and just see if we can do this on camera. I have to remember to put on my extra strong glasses for this one. It could be that I'm going to have to find another way to do this because I'm having to put so much pressure down on this plastic to get it to cut. Oh my, maybe this idea is not good. Okay, you can see here where I was trying to cut, and yeah, just wanted to show you what it actually looks like from the back. I'm going to try and soften the plastic on the crane part. Okay, so here's what's happened. I did re-moisten this with the extra thin. And I waited quite a while, and I tried to, spread it apart. And I was pulling pretty hard to the point I was thinking I'm going to break these off. And then the thought came to me, well, why not heat them up? They only have to go apart about half a millimeter. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my heat gun here, and it seems to me around 300 degrees Fahrenheit, this plastic actually becomes sort of malleable. I know there is a point it'll actually become molten and runny, but I'm going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to do that probably in the next episode now. Yeah, it's what do we got here? It is actually 2:43 in the afternoon, so I'm going to wind this episode up. I've been busy. Life got in the way of the model table, yeah. So we'll work on this in the next episode. I'm not going to promise I'll work on it tonight. I kind of think I might. In the meantime, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you tomorrow.